the whole Candace Owens thing is basically she's basically letting people know that there's a lot more moving parts, that we all know this, right? And basically there's a lot of people within TPUSA that are involved. And I think we all kind of knew that common sense after seeing the video of him getting shot right in the neck or whatever went off, the projectile in the neck, however that happened. This had to be very sophisticated. It was a sophisticated hit. There had to be a lot more people involved. I think common sense, we all know that. None of us are really buying the shooter on the roof, Tyler Robinson, who loves trannies on the, this to me, I don't buy the official narrative, right? No, nobody does. And I've talked to a lot of people on my podcast discussing this. I think Candace Owens is going all in, and I think she's made this her mission because Charlie Kirk's a personal friend. But I think there's a lot more moving parts here. I happen to think elements of Israel are involved. I happen to believe, the French Legion, sure. But a lot of people had to be complicit or involved in order for this to get pulled off the way it was. Even the university covering up the crime scene, Kash Patel turning a blind eye to it, just saying going along with the narrative. Nobody's going along with the narrative. And people like Candace, that she's out there leaving no stone unturned. Of course they're going to say she's crazy. Of course they are, because she's not taking the bait. I stand with Candace on this, and I agree with everything she's saying. I think she's made this her mission, and they got big problems because I don't buy the official narrative, and I don't think anybody does.
The last time we talked, I remember, I think you came on my show. We talked about it, a little bit about it, and I said that if she doesn't get a contract out on her life or get taken out, then I'm not going to believe what she's saying, because she's literally coming out against the heavy hitters, the big people. I mean, we're talking the biggest of the big that we know about anyway. And so now to see a contract on her life is pretty crazy.
It's believable. I mean, she's not leaving it alone, right?
Yeah.
Me myself, I think, I think, and a lot of people may take this the wrong way, and I don't really care, but I think Erica Kirk needs to be questioned further. I think, she's out there. She's now the face of Turning Point USA. I know she's grieving and this and that, but something doesn't pass the smell test with me and a lot of this, and just like everybody else. And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but I'm just saying I think a lot more people are involved and complicit in this than we know. And I think if we actually found out that certain people involved in his camp are, and I'm not saying she is, I'm not saying that. She's just, it's not passing the smell test. Now, I think Candace Owens, they're trying to get her to sound like she's crazy, right? She's nuts. She's insane because she keeps poking and prodding. She won't leave this alone. And it's making them very nervous. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. I hope nothing happens to Candace, but she's definitely poking a bear that will bite. And I think she needs to be careful, man. That's all I'm going to say. And I don't know, you could say it's Macron or whoever, whatever that thing he's married to. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm just saying, like, we better, I think she definitely should watch out for watch her back. I'm not even sure anyone's coming to her safety. She said she's texted the FBI. She's made her case known. She might be left out to just perish, man. I'd be careful about her, but I definitely admire her bravery, man. I definitely admire her bravery.
Yeah, it's interesting. If it's, I often think, like, when I look at these things, it seems like a theater production because it's so overwhelmingly, I mean, it's just a theatric move. Everything that's going on seems like something that your favorite television show would have going on in it. You have a betrayal, you have a friend who's coming to save the day. You have them being like kind of the target of this big operation. And like, it's just crazy, man, when you think about it too. And plus, she's kind of on the Catholic end of all of of this whole thing. And she's going up against like what she described in her video as like the Freemasonic order in a way. And this is like an old battle, old rivalry that seems to be like really coming to butt heads right now.
The only thing that's saving her, man, is that she's putting it all out there. Every time she gets information, she puts it out there. Um, that way it's known. Like, hey, I got a threat. This guy's, saying this, that, or whatever. But she's pointing fingers at a lot of people that may be complicit or may not be complicit in this or involved. I don't know. We all know there's more to the story. Dude, it's just so easy to see. This was an orchestrated, highly organized hit. This was not just some crazy guy that, on the roof that just decided to take him out because he didn't agree with his perspectives or beliefs. It was way more than that. Way more than that. He wasn't playing ball with certain people. And he was starting to get brave and put his foot down, and they shut him up for that. A lot, even if you look at the amphitheater that he was at, a lot of it is symbolic. It was like a sacrifice, a public sacrifice. So I think this goes way deeper than people ever would imagine. And it's not Tyler Robinson. He was just the Oswald. I think this goes way, way deeper. And I think she's sniffing in places she shouldn't be. Not that I commend her. I commend her for what she's doing. She's brave. But I think they will, dude, if they made an example out of Charlie Kirk, you don't think they'll make an example out of her? Of course they will. So what's she supposed to do? Never leave her house? I mean, this is where we're at in this. I mean, I personally believe for where we're headed, this new paradigm, AI, the whole thing. I don't believe you're going to be able to. There's going to be no secrecy left. Everything's coming out, and it's just going to be how humanity deals with it. And that's where I think we're headed in all this. And I think the truth, it took 50 something years for JFK's truth to come out. This is going to take months. I think she's over it. I think she's over it like a heat-seeking missile. And I just hope she doesn't pay for it with her life.
It's wild to see somebody actually being as effective as she is at doing what she's doing, because I mean, ultimately with JFK, all that, there was no social media back in the day. There was no way to really, for the average person to just kind of blurt out the stuff that they want to blurt out, and then millions of people see it, right? But she's been very effective at doing it. So I don't think, like in my time anyway, like I'm only 43, but like in my time, I don't remember seeing anything like this. I mean, have you seen anything like this?
Not in my lifetime, man. And I mean, we all knew something was up when we all saw it live, right? When it happened. I'm not saying I don't believe Erica Kirk is involved in any way. I just think she's scared. And I think she knows whoever did this, probably has an idea herself, and she doesn't want to play ball. She's just keeping herself and family safe. She already lost her husband. I think she's just going to be like, and I can't blame her. You can't blame her for that. But someone like Candace, I think Candace said, hey, if Erica tells me to stop, I'll stop. So has Erica told her to stop? It doesn't look like it, because I'm sure Candace would keep her word and stop, right? I mean, I would imagine you got to respect the wife, right? I mean, if the wife wants you to stop, I would stop. So I don't know what conversations are being had behind the scenes. Like, I don't know if Erica Kirk and Candace are even talking, or if Erica Kirk has asked her to stop and she hasn't. But I would imagine if Erica Kirk asked her to stop for her own safety, then Candace would stop. So I don't know what's going on. I think it's crazy, dude, that we're living in these times. We all know it doesn't pass the smell test. We all know a lot of people are complicit, but we also know the 4D, 5G chess game Trump is playing. And to take these deep staters out, dude, they're going to still make their moves too, even though they look desperate. They're going to make moves. So we got to understand, this game that's being played for all of humanity. And I think we're not going to see the last of it. I think we're going to see more of this. I think we're going to see. I hope to God Candace makes it, but she's really putting herself in jeopardy. She's poking the bear. In fact, she's gone beyond it. If she's saying Macron is sending out the French Legion or a hitman on her, I'd believe her. I would think, yeah. And I would even, can we even trust the phone calls she got? I mean, maybe they're throwing her off the scent and it's going to be someone completely different that puts the hit on her. You know, I think Candace is in very dangerous water right now, and she's going all in. And I think she's probably already past a point of no return. To be quite honest with you, I hope she doesn't, but they probably will make an example out of her. And I hate to say that because I love Candace and she's brave, but this is dangerous territory she's in right now, man. Very dangerous.
Yeah, and the whole Erica Kirk thing, man. I'm never quick to speak ill of a widow. First off,
right.
she's a widow. If there's some people that are as far out as to believe that Charlie Kirk never really died and it's all like an operation or whatever, which I don't know, man. I'm open to anything, I guess, but
I think that's
operating under the assumption that
I think that's so dead. Disrespectful, dude.
I think so too. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy
so
because
insane. It's just so. It's so.
Oh. There's a lot of people talking like that. But either way, my point is like her being a widow, like the amount of stuff she's going through, the amount of fear she probably has. Because if she, like you said,
what would he gain out of this? What would Charlie Kirk gain out of faking it? First of all, it looked real to me. Second, what would he gain out of like never seeing his kids again and going into hiding for what? For what? It's just none of it makes sense in any way, shape, or form. And now she's just going to be single, pretend to be. They'll be married they'll see each other on the side. He's in a witness protection somewhere. It's garbage, bro. And
I've heard. You want to hear one of the theories I've heard? I've heard that he is actually JD Vance, and so that way, instead of him taking
those people, that's what gives us a bad name, bro.
It's crazy. It's crazy stuff.
That's why serious people will not go on some people's podcasts because it's so insane. It's just you can't. You want to say it's like a smelly fart, dude. You don't want to be around that. It's I'm serious. It's like, and that's when I hear that stuff, I'm like, that's so. First of all, it's number one. It's so disrespectful to the family. I don't know, man. To me, I try to stay away from that topic as much as possible because there's just no right way to do it. It's sloppy, man. It's ugly. It's nasty. It's nasty.
Well, let me get to what I was going to say about it because it's not actually about that, but it's about Turning Point USA because she's still actively in the mix with Turning Point USA, and according to the video that Candace put out, I guess Charlie had tried to put in the Doge company, to audit his Turning Point USA. Apparently, he had thought that there was something fishy going on, according to Candace. And this was like maybe a few days before this all happened. And somehow on our timeline for the last video she put out, she had mentioned that part of it as being something. And recently Turning Point USA has put out a couple of videos, like a couple of the pastors associated, basically calling Candace kind of crazy. And Pastor Rob too. I don't have you had any of them on your show? And if so,
no,
like,
but I'll say this. I'll say this. Anybody who's calling Candace crazy, shine the light on you. What's going on, buddy? You know what I mean? Right. It's like if I was, to me personally, why? Because she's doing the detective work. I mean, I would, the first person that calls her crazy, you go look at them. If I was a cop or if I was a detective, I'd be like, oh, really? You don't say, tell me why you think she's crazy. Let's sit down for a little bit. Let's go have lunch. And I get all the information. Tell me why you. And so I think they're selling themselves out. I mean, the more they say anything, if I was them, I'd stay away from this. But because you're not going to stop her. Hell has no wrath. That's what they say. Hell has no wrath over a woman's scorn.
It's crazy because, like, just to kind of give context behind it, I don't know if you saw the video where she linked the pastor there to the same company or people that were Britney Spears' father was associated with, and also Justin Bieber's family was associated with. It's strange, man. Like there's a strange connection between all of that. Supposedly, according to Candace, allegedly, I guess is the word for it, but it's wild to think that, man. Like she's and his. That's why I'm saying like his wife's in the mix of this. She's got to be scared, like out of her mind, if she even has any idea of this reality. If she's watching Candace's videos and has any kind of like, you know, belief in what she's saying or not, you know.
It's messy. I don't know, man. To be quite honest with you, this had to be orchestrated for quite a time out because, the university itself is covering up a crime scene. They started renovating that area immediately. People were taking cameras down. Gee, I don't know. That's what the people you look at. They're taking down the cameras. I don't know. They're getting rid of the evidence right then and there. I don't know. Look at them. I don't know, but I mean, it's so obvious, but it's so obvious and staring you in the face that at the same time, you're just like, they can't be that stupid. But then again, they got powerful people covering up for them. And all I know is this guy needed to be out of the picture. I mean, to me, it doesn't smell right. I haven't looked into the details like Candace, but I just know it's not right, bro. I mean, I think we all can look at it and go, something's going on here. And it looks like very powerful people are involved, obviously, to pull this off. But
you got to have Candace on your show, bro.
Yeah, she knows who I am. She brought me up in one of her shows one time. So yeah, I mean, whatever it takes. I just kind of say things the way it needs to be said. But I'll be quite honest with you. I think there's a lot of elements involved here, and I think more are coming, man. I think more is coming, and I think they're gonna start taking people out because they're getting desperate. They're getting real desperate, and I think when Trump starts
like Tucker or who? People like Tucker.
I think Tucker should be worried. I think Tucker should very well be worried. I don't. I respect Tucker a lot, man. There's a lot of people out there right now. We could just get into it. I'm not sure about Nick Fuentes. I look at Nick Fuentes and I'm like, okay, this guy, he's so loud, abrasive, and just he seems to me like he's an instigator. I've offered him to come on my show. He knows who I am. And I think he's a disruptor. Tucker, I think he has his heart in the right place. I think he's trying to do the right thing. There's a lot of psyops being run right now, and a lot of people are owned. Do I know who they are for sure? No. But I think the ones that are causing the bigger rift on people, like you got like Laura Loomer, Candace, and it's just people that are murking up or messing up the scene or causing the fog or whatever. A lot of people that were pro-Trump, now they don't like Trump. And I mean, you got to pay attention to all that. But I have question marks about a lot of podcasters out there because this is an information war, bro. This is no different than World War I or World War II. In fact, it's more advanced. I mean, we're in it.
Yeah. I was just thinking about this the other day. Like, so in this world really that we're in right now, like there's famous people out there, but then there's podcasters and like influencers, and ultimately, like we just ran a conference, and the people that sold the most tickets to that conference that people wanted to come see were the influencers over the famous people that were there. It's crazy, but the amount of influence that's there, so that they're trying to get their teeth in on that.
Because this is the awakening. People are waking up, dude. Who cares about fame anymore? Nobody cares about fame. What is fame anyway anymore? Someone who's noticed for what they do, right? Or get paid for what they do. It's slowly deteriorating, and people want truth, and that's why they need to intercept the truth. And I'm sure I've had a lot of them on my shows. You've probably had some on your shows, and I tell everybody, you all make up your own mind. Like do I have an idea who's who's on my show, who's full of shit, who's not, or who's trying to psyop and who's not. Yeah. Um, but I leave it for my audience to decide that, right? Um,
Yeah, because it's impossible to really know that. Like,
dude,
it's
you
really
can't.
impossible.
It is because I mean everyone has something to say, but it's not hard for someone to throw in a little bit of lies here and there, and you don't know. I can't. All I can do is present for my audience. That's it. I'm the presenter. I have my theories and opinions on people, and I think probably 85% of them are full of shit. You know, you know what I mean, bro? Like I do. Nobody knows anything, bro. Like I have an idea, but I'm like, you know, changes every day. But I mean, at least I'm honest, bro. I try to be honest. I mean, uh, I have a lot of different guests on my show, and I think a lot of them hit it out of the park sometimes. Sometimes they don't. 50-50. Some of them are better. Juan O'Savin seems to be 85% over the mark, 80% of the mark, but nobody's 100. We're not gods. We're just trying to relay everything. Things change like the tide. So I think I have some pretty good guests on my show, but I think for me, I think that I've gotten a really good bullshit radar, but nobody will ever know who I think is full of shit and who's not, because things change and we're in a dangerous game. The truth today is dangerous, and we got to watch our backs, bro, because especially now. I mean, you think Charlie Kirk's going to be the first or the last now? This is a game for everything. Everything's at stake here, man. So to me, I just kind of laid out for people to play it out, like Snoop Dogg says. You know what I mean? I laid out for you to play it out. Like it's just the way I do it, the way I see it.
Yeah, you almost have to nowadays anyway. Like, I can't remember. I wish I could remember there's like a Bible verse that talks about a time that's evil where the wise people won't speak as much, basically, and like it's crazy to think that, but I feel like we're in that time almost like to where it's like there may be way more to the picture here, and there is. Like, we've seen it happen for like the last 5 years. It's been like one exposure after another, and all of us who were called conspiracy theorists, turned out to be pretty much exactly right with everything that we were saying almost, and then boom, 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 it started playing out. But like we're at a point now to where it almost doesn't even pay in any way, like physically, mentally, spiritually, to um to feel like I guess to be even like kind of in the middle of it all, man. Because like I got the opportunity, several opportunities I passed up because I'm like, I don't know, like if like I didn't feel easy about being in the mix of whatever was going on there because I just didn't really understand it. It was something that like it felt like I was being used or whatever. And like it's crazy to think that we're in that time period to where we have to almost, I wouldn't say, we kind of have to self silence ourselves in a lot of ways, man. It's crazy.
Man, it's kind of like boxing to me. You work your way up the ladder, man, and you get to a point where choose wisely, and that's where I messed up at the very end of my career when I was 36-0. It's like, you know, you gotta be like a sniper, with this information warfare, man. Because dude, it's the war's getting thicker right now. They don't want the truth out there, but in the end, this is all gonna come to a point where I think the truth will prevail. And I think we're on the cusp of that right now. And I think there's gonna be some hard times ahead. We're gonna find out some really shitty things about a lot of people, but you know what, man? So be it. I never thought that I would be questioning outer space and NASA and like all that in my lifetime, and here I am wondering what do we really live on, a flat Earth or a round Earth? I can't believe I don't one thing. I know there's firmament, and I think that's what Elon Musk is testing with those rockets on how to get through it. That's what I think the real psyop is right there. And then he's showing you that we're going to Mars. We ain't doing that shit. Yeah, none of that. No, we're just trying to get through the firmament. I can't believe I'm saying that. 5 years ago, I would have never said that.
Yeah.
That's where I see that now. There's so many videos that come out of like astronauts in space and a mouse running around on the rocket, and just it's just everything's coming out now, man. It's like we're in the age of truth, and all that trickery is just falling apart, and it's all spells, and the spells are wearing off, and it's people like myself, you, and others that are bringing the truth at a very high cost. People like Charlie, right? I think Charlie Kirk, he never questioned Israel, but when he started to, and as big as he was, and he stopped taking donor money, see you later. See ya. That's it. That's what you got to know, I think.
Yeah. Well, it seems definitely on the timeline, it seems to add up. And I wonder how the French and all that plays into.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if she.
I don't know if I were her, if I would have brought up the French connection 100%, because now that gives an open door to anybody else to do it, and everybody's just going to blame the French, whether or not they do it or not.
To be quite honest, I think, and I hate to say it like this, but I think she's kind of fallen for anything they throw her way, and it'd be real easy to work a psyop on her, man, because she's biting on everything, and I think. Blame it on the French Legion and it's really Israel. I don't know. I mean, to me, man, this is so messy, and she's gonna go crazy trying to figure this out. I don't think it's gonna be a dog chasing his tail. And we all know something's wrong. We all kind of have an idea who's behind it. I think that's as far as you're gonna get with this, man. Because these people
tell her to leave it alone. Would you tell her to leave it alone?
I don't think she's going to, because Charlie's her friend, and it's a mission of hers. Would I tell her to leave it alone for her own safety? Yeah, because I know she values her life and her children's life. I don't think she's ever going to get to the bottom of it. And if she does, what does she win? What does she get? They're never going to say, "Oh, you got us." All right, okay, you caught me. That's not going to happen. They're going to keep sending her on this endless hunt, this witch hunt. They'll throw something else at her to purposely distract her. Then they'll throw something else. Then something else. She's going to go nuts to where the purpose is to make her look so crazy no one listens to her anymore. That's what they're doing to her. She needs to be aware of this. They're going to throw something else at her, and then she's going to bite that. And then they'll throw something else, and then she'll bite that. And it'll be a never-ending witch hunt. And then she's going to lose her fall. She'll lose all credibility. She probably, in my mind, she's never going to get to the bottom of this, dude. They're going to keep giving her distractions and smoke screens. In my mind,
it's like X-Files, and no matter how close they got, there was always a distraction from what the real thing that was going on.
She's in a labyrinth, dude, that she's never going to get out of, bro. That's how I see it, and they're going to keep sending her this way, that way, this way, that way, and then ultimately the people are finally just going to be, they're going to end up watching her as a circus, and then they'll lose interest. It'll be like a Britney Spears. Like people go to Britney Spears' Instagram. What do they want? Do you think they watch her because they're her fans anymore? They want to see a crazy bitch, right? They're seeing a person that's lost their mind, dude, and that's why people go and watch her and like they laugh. And Candace will turn out to be like that if she does not watch her back. They'll just make her look crazy, and I think that's another way of character assassination is just make him look nuts. Just keep having her go this way, that way, a dog chasing his tail, and then after a while, people go like, "Oh, did you see Candace today? Oh, it was so crazy what she said." That's what they're gonna do to her.
Yeah, they have the tech too to do that, and killing her publicly would make her a martyr.
Yeah, if they assassinate her, then there'll be 20 more of her.
Yeah,
or 100 more of her. But if they make her look nutty, like a Britney Spears, you know what I mean? You get where I'm going? I think that's what they're trying. I think that's what they're going to do. I think she needs to watch herself. Like she needs to, I don't think she's ever going to get to the bottom of this because there's so many distractions and smoke screens, and there's so many people at high levels involved that are going to make sure she doesn't get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's really sad too, because like we all know, we all really ultimately know who's at the bottom of this. I mean, there's powers that are above that we can even really even understand. We don't even know the powers that are above the powers that we see. You know, we don't see them personally. At least I don't. You know, maybe some people listening out here know what I'm talking about or see these powers, but they're there. And man, like, you know, to be in the middle of it where she's at, I don't want to take anything away from her. She is brave, like you said, man. She is like extremely brave to be doing this, taking this on in any way, shape, or form. If she's not fully backed by somebody that we don't know about, like, which is very possible. I mean, there's different, you know, like I've talked about on your show the different archons that are in charge of areas. You know, this is where we get the idea of like fallen angels being in charge of certain vicinities of the world. And like, so she may have something like that, or I don't know. I mean, like, that's going way crazy with it, but like, that's possible that there's something behind her that's powerful that we don't know about too, you know?
Nothing surprises me. All I know, man, is that we are in warfare, and a lot of it is information warfare. So there's a lot of smoke screens, a lot of distractions, and you never know what's what. And I think the only and I'm going to say this: the only truth is in the word. That's it, man. I mean, dude, I can't believe I'm even saying that. 10 years ago, I would have never said that. I'd be like, well, there's this, there's aliens, there's this. Dude, I think it's good and evil and demons and angels, bro, and that's it. And they're all in the battle. And we are in the ultimate game right now. And deception is what the evil use to run to disrupt us, to lead us astray. It's information warfare, and both sides use it. But I'm just saying, like, I think, dude, this 3-eye atlas thing, now I don't even think it's there. I don't even think it exists, to be honest with you. Now I'm thinking about this. I'm like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm looking at it now. I'm like, you know, I'm starting to question outer space. You know, the Earth is flat. I don't know. You know, I've put up videos on my Instagram for people to look at. Yeah, you know, we're not sending astronauts out there. None of this makes sense to me. It's all lies. It's all lies. It's all lies. It's deception. And they're running game on us. And you know, at the highest levels, and Elon's firing rockets. I think he's trying to pierce the firmament, man. That's what I think he's trying to do. I think he's trying to get across in the firmament. That's where I'm at with this now.
Yeah, I got really some weird connections, that. Man. He's got some strange connections. Like with that whole book that Werner von Braun, the guy that founded NASA. He was a German scientist during World War II, and he came over as Operation Paperclip.
Project Paperclip.
Founded NASA, and anyways, like Elon was the character that led a colony to Mars in his book that he wrote, that Werner von Braun wrote. In
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in like the 40s, man, it's crazy.
So then that's what this guy's playing out right now. See, they got to tell you what they do before they do it. Right? Because they believe in that karmic cycle. So it would make sense that he would he has Elon foretold before Elon exists, right? That Elon will lead the colony to Mars, and look what's happening right now. They got to tell you before they do it. They're doing it. And it's but I think the first problem for them is piercing the firmament. I can't believe I'm saying that. But that's what I think the first problem is. And I think that's what they're trying so hard to do, is get out of this encapsulated earth that they're in, whatever this is, whatever this reality is. They're stuck here, and they want out. And dude, I can't even believe I'm talking like this right now. But I mean, just after like 10 years or 6 years, really, of all the podcasting I've done and all the people I've talked to, this is where I'm going with it. Like, this is what I see.
That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. The Tower of Babel being replayed because their whole goal was to make something that reached the heavens, you know. And there's a lot of like people that don't believe it was like a real tower. It was more like some kind of Stargate or something that was supposed to reach the heavens. And like there's this book of Jasher, which is, some people believe, is like the book that the Bible was talking about when it talks about the book of Jasher. And it talks about how that they wanted to storm the throne room of God and kill God. And like the Bible talks about, like anything in their heart they imagine to do, it would be possible for them. And dude, if you think about it, dude, we're living in sci-fi world. Like almost anything you can imagine right now, they're making it.
AI and quantum, like, I mean, AI is, the possibilities and the problem solving, and then quantum is the speed, right? I mean, I have it revert. No, that's what it is. So if you think about it, everything's going to be a possibility or a reality. I think we're coming into a time where ultimately that quantum and AI emerging now, and our whole realities are going to change like forever. We're not going to recognize the world we're going into, man. And I think people are going to be given the possibilities of living longer, 125 years, 150 years with quantum and AI merged together. I think we're going into such uncharted waters that, and I think the elite know that we're going into this, and I think they want to, and I think they control most, 99% of the technology. That's why they want to depopulate. They don't want everyone having this technology, and I think that's where we're headed in all this. But in the end, um, it's going to lead to a very bad existence, because I mean, you're not meant to live forever. It's like, but I really do watch and see people are going to start living to 120, 150, and that's why they want to depopulate, because they want to be the only ones that have the key to that, the fountain of youth or whatever. But we're not meant to be here that long. We're not meant to live forever. We're not meant to look young forever, and that's the trick. You know, um, that's the trick of it all. Is trusting in God, and they don't trust in God. They think they can defeat God. So this is the spiritual war, what we're in right now, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. After Trump, when Trump leaves office, if he leaves in 2028, or he sticks around a few more years or whatever. But it's going to be interesting to see where this goes post Trump, man. Like, seriously, like where this world goes. Can we trust someone like JD Vance? I don't know. RFK? I don't know. I think everyone's so very corruptible, man. I think Trump was made for a time like this, and he's fulfilling almost like a prophecy. And then I think things probably go pretty dark once he leaves, because I don't see anybody else standing up to this stuff. That's just my point of view on it. I think we're gonna have a little bit of grace, a few more years of grace, and then things could go very dark.
Yeah, I could see that being a real possibility as well. Nino, I appreciate you coming on to the broadcast. Let people know where they can find you at on YouTube or anywhere else that you'd like for them to check out.
Folks, go to ninoscorner.tv or Nino's Corner on YouTube or Nino's Corner on Rumble.
All right, guys, hit the subscribe, pound the like button, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.